When I was in Common Core, I had a new English teacher who did not seem to like me that much. And I remember that I failed many of his exams and ended up getting the lowest grade in class. Once, he came to me frustrated and told me, "Ahmed, you have such a terrible level. I don't even know what you're doing here." I told him, "Me neither." He thought I was joking at the time and yelled at me. But I insisted. "I meant what I said, teacher." It was only then when he and I came to realize that something was actually missing. An effective approach to education must be developed in order to overcome the 21st century challenges. But the question is, how? Highly educated populations have an easier time overcoming challenges. In 2020, the entire world faced one of the most difficult calamities of the 21st century. Besides being a health crisis, COVID-19 dramatically crippled economies and societies. While most countries imposed a lockdown, Sweden, Japan, and South Korea were some of the very few countries that did not follow this norm. And guess what? They succeeded in surmounting the crisis as effectively as other countries that did impose a lockdown, and sometimes even better. In fact, these three countries have education systems that rank among the best in the world. In other words, education is the key tool that allows a country to face any challenge in a drastically changing and heavily unstable world. Education is the key. Sadly, the more one gets familiar with our Moroccan educational system, the more they come to realize that its foundation hasn't changed that much since it was established. I myself inherited the student book Ticket to English from my brother who used it before I was born. A book where I had to learn Future Perfect by referring to 2010. However, the issue is not only limited to content. What is even worse is the objective students are asked to achieve. The obsession given to grades portrays making mistakes as committing unforgivable sins. This, in fact, is a big setback, as it shackles students and obliges them to accumulate knowledge for the sole purpose of passing exams, which leads to killing their creativity and sometimes even incites them to cheat. A crime against creativity. Thus, creativity and literacy should be seen as equal when it comes to education. Creativity has to be instilled in curricula by revolutionizing content and watered by igniting students' curiosity and encouraging them to make more mistakes and learn from them. This is the only way that we can start reaping the promising crops of a transformative education. That is what makes the difference between countries that lead and the ones that are led. You remember the teacher of English who yelled at me? I'm indebted, truly indebted to him, as he's one of the main reasons I'm standing here before you. Because he introduced me to the Mate Circle, an association where I benefited from all their activities, including public speaking, reading clubs, and debating contests. There and then, I have had the chance to learn creatively, gain the courage to make mistakes, and seize every single opportunity to communicate purposefully. I can't describe to you how happy he was when he learned that his shy students had been qualified to a national public speaking contest. Education is the key. It has transformed me and helped me a lot and still. So instead of waiting for change, let us start by ourselves. By the person we see in the mirror, as each one of us is responsible for that change. Each one of us has to ask himself or herself in the words of Emma Watson, if not me, then who? If not now, then when? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.